Welcome back to another video on Influential Sports. We just hit 100 subscribers at 110 now as I'm recording this. But a different setup, doing this in the kitchen, late night. But first, got the NXT Vengeance Day recap. And we talking about all the events that transpired, how I felt about it, then get my overall rating of the show at the end of it. First match, you had Fallon Henley defending the NXT Women's North American Championship against Stephanie Van Kier. And obviously, Fallon Henley, she had the advantage. She had a fatal influence on her side. And then they obviously got involved in the match. But Stephanie Van Kier, she would show her dominance, was able to overcome the odds. And then she's just a better wrestler out of her and Fallon Henley. It's pretty clear. And we've known this, like, you follow along with Mercedes Moné in New Japan. You done seen the match she had with Mercedes, seen some of her matches in New Japan. So Stephanie Van Kier, she ended up getting the win to become the new Women's North American Champion. Well deserved. She deserves this moment. I'm glad that she won the title. Then you can probably do something else with Fatal Influence. You can move on, go to a different story. They had the 3-on-1 advantage and still couldn't hold on to the title. So there you have it. Stephanie Van Kier is your new Women's North American Champion. Then you have Frasium against Briggs and the other guy for the Tag Team Championships. Now, I wasn't invested in the match, to be completely honest, because I forget the other guy's name. But the team is kind of just thrown together. And if Frasium is going to lose, they need to lose to somebody who's a real tag team. Like, this isn't a real tag team, and Frasium never ran through everybody in the NXT Tag Team division. So they end up getting a win here once again, and they weren't going to lose to some random tag team. That wouldn't have made sense, so Frasium ended up getting a win. And like I said, it was a good match. It was a fun match, but they've been booked pretty strong, and it's hard for me to see them losing the Tag Team Championships anytime soon, because I don't know who could take it from them realistically. Then you had Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorpe, and this match, a lot of mixed opinions about this. The match was all right. I mean, Trick Williams dominated most of the match. A black man whipping a Native American with a strap. That's highly ironic. But Trick Williams was dominating a lot of this match, but he ended up losing because Eddie Thorpe hit a low blow with the strap. And it's like, it's a strap match, so anything goes. But it's like, that was a dumb ending, and Trick losing don't make sense. He's a 2-time NXT Tag Team Champion. He's had great stories. He's told great stories. He's improved week in and week out, and he's still stuck in NXT, and he's losing to Eddie Thorpe for what reason? If you call him up to the main roster, you can put him and Carmelo Hayes back together as a tag team, and it would be perfect. Like, you just Trick showing that edge to him, showing that aggressive side, so you can put him with Carmelo, and you can justify them teaming up again, because you done did it with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn so many times. So Trick losing doesn't make sense, especially to Eddie Thorpe, because he's lost multiple championship matches. They made it clear that they don't want him at the top of the picture. Like, they made Ethan Page champion in no time, but Eddie Thorpe, he keep getting all these opportunities just to keep losing. So what's the point of him winning this match? I don't get it. So that's when it started. So that was part of why the rating is going to be what it was at the end of the show, or at the end of this review. Because I don't think NXT was a bad show tonight. I think last night, I think, because this will be out tomorrow morning, or this will be out Sunday morning. Because I think this was a good overall show, but also you had Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. Even though Ethan Page you want to establish as a main event guy on NXT, you should have had Javon Evans win this match with all that they went through with the John stuff and him pretty much dominating Ethan Page, him showing that aggressiveness to him. Like, you should have let Javon Evans win this match. Ethan Page winning it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't move any story, if we're being completely honest. And then Cedric Alexander not there anymore, so you really can't tell the story anymore with that. Then you had Obafemi versus Grayson Waller versus Austin Theory for the NXT Championship. This was a fun triple threat match. I enjoyed it, but Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, them splitting up, like, you didn't advance that story at all. Like, you tease some stuff here and there, but that's a triple threat match, so of course it's going to be moments where they might have to get into it and fight for a little bit, but you didn't tease them actually breaking up, and they didn't really get into it for the most part in the match. Like, you had the accidental spots, but it wasn't like they were actually trying to hit each other. So it's like stuff we done seen on Raw and SmackDown before. And then Obafemi, he ended up getting the win. and then he stands tall, still the NXT champion. He wasn't gonna lose it, but I still don't get why Trick Williams ain't got a 3 match. And now that Trick lost to Eddie Thorpe, it wouldn't make sense for Trick to get a match for a title after that. But back to Obafemi, he got jumped by a bunch of lacrosse players. Them guys look like they could be perfect lacrosse players. They also jumped Fraxium Briggs and the other guy after the match for some reason. I don't know the guys' names. I don't know much about them. But I feel like Obafemi could take on all 4 of them. Maybe that's a stretch, but he could take at least 3 of them in a 1-on-3. But Obafemi got jumped by a bunch of dudes that look like they play lacrosse for a living. So I'm going to just leave it at that. But let's talk about this main event. Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Bayley, and Julia. The story they told, it was already great in itself. Roxanne and Cora being best friends, and then a title getting in the way of that. Like, obviously, they're going to have to go at it at some point, because it's like, at the end of the day, you want the gold. No matter what Cora Jade says about how much she cares about Roxanne Perez, you're going to want that gold. You're going to want that strap around your waist. Bayley coming in to help develop some of these the girls in NXT, and then her being cool with Julia. But it's like that NXT championship, that's still on the line. So it's like you get a really fun fatal 4-way to close the show, and the women main evented, which I felt like was great because they had the best women's division in all of wrestling. So the fact that they got to close and had Bayley a part of that with these 3 fantastic women, it was great. Shout out to Cora Jade because she had to wrestle multiple times this week, being on TNA. She had a match with Bayley on NXT. Then she had a match on TNA with Brookside. Then she had this fatal 4-way match. So she wrestled 3 times this week. I know that's a lot of traveling. Bayley, she was obviously in the Celebrity All-Star Games. Had a match, like I said, on NXT as well. Then had to compete in this match. So shout out to both of them, because I know that's a lot of travel, a lot of work on your body doing that. So shout out to them. But it was a fun fatal 4-way match. But I don't like the fact that Roxanne got pinned because you had Bayley in this match. Julia ended up pinning Roxanne to win the match, but I wish she would have pinned Bayley, because I think it would have meant more if you pinned somebody as significant as Bayley. But then after that, Julia, Stephanie Van Kier, they come out and stand tall together, both as champions. You know, they are good friends. Then you have Jordan Grace come out there. Then she come out to the ring. Then she leave, and she was like, I'll see y'all on Tuesdays. So it's confirmed that Jordan Grace is going to be on NXT. Now, who she goes after first, I'm not sure. But I'm sure whatever she does is going to be great to start off. They probably want to start into the title picture immediately, because you don't want Julia or Stephanie dropping those titles at the moment. You don't want neither one of them dropping those titles until it's around staying in the Liber time in April, when we right at WrestleMania. But I gave NXT Vengeance Day a 7 out of 10. It was a good show, but I didn't like some of the results and the way that they ended. The fatal 4-way match I was cool with. I enjoyed that. The opening match I was great with. Like, both the women's matches, they both hit, and they both had the right winners in them. But it was the men's matches where I was like, the Fraxium match, it didn't have no story. But Fraxium winning I don't have a problem with. It just didn't have a story. That was my problem with the match. Trick Williams losing didn't make sense when he dominated 87 to 89% of the match. Javon Evans shouldn't have lost. And it's like, all these matches were good matches. And then the Obafemi match, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, their story didn't progress to them splitting up. That's why I'm giving it a 7, because they were still putting on good matches. It just, some stories weren't being developed and told, and I feel like you had some of the wrong winners for the outcomes. But leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Next goal, let's get to 200. Want to get to 500 by the end of the year, but we got to get to 200 before we get there. And comment what y'all thought of NXT Vengeance Day. Did y'all enjoy it? Did y'all not? I did enjoy it. I probably would go, that women's fatal 4-way match, I'd probably go back to watch that, because that was a fun match. But that's it for this video. Peace.